Chapter 9, Mishnah 2. The rest of this chapter discusses the law of beer. A person may pick limited amounts of produce on Shemitah and keep them in his house for the use of himself and his family, as long as that type of produce can still be found in the fields for wild animals to eat. Once the species is no longer available outdoors to wild animals, he is forbidden to keep any of that species in his house. At this point, he must perform the process of beer, in which he gives up his rights of ownership in the produce and puts it outside his house for anyone to take. If beer is not performed at the required time, the produce may never be eaten. The obligation to perform beer is determined not by a species' availability in Eretz Yisrael as a whole, but by its availability in the region in which it grew. This Mishnah identifies the areas in Eretz Yisrael that determine the availability of a species. We now turn to the words of the Mishnah. There are 3 lands, i.e. provinces, in Eretz Yisrael for the purposes of beer: Judea, the south of Eretz Yisrael; the west side of the Jordan River, the center of Eretz Yisrael; and the Galilee, the north of Eretz Yisrael. As long as this type of produce is available to wild animals somewhere in a particular province, it may be eaten at home anywhere in that province. But once it disappears from the fields of a province, eating it without beer is forbidden throughout that province, even if it is still available in the other 2 provinces. The Mishnah adds, and there are 3 regions within each and every one of these 3 provinces. That is, each of the 3 provinces, Judah, the west side of the Jordan, and the Galilee, is itself divided into 3 regions, with each region corresponding to a particular type of terrain: mountainous areas, lowlands, and valley. The Mishnah identifies the 3 regions of each province, starting with the Galilee. The 3 regions in the Galilee are the Upper Galilee, the Lower Galilee, and the Valley. The mountainous territory from Kfar Hanania and above, i.e. northward, wherever the terrain does not support the growth of sycamore trees because of its mountains, is the Upper Galilee. And the lowlands extending from Kfar Hanania and below, i.e. southward, wherever the terrain does support the growth of sycamore trees because of its flat terrain, is the Lower Galilee. And the vicinity of Tiberias is the valley. The Mishnah names the 3 regions of Judea. And these are the 3 regions within Judea: the mountains of Judea, the lowlands of Judea, and the valley of Judea. The Mishnah now deals with the west side of the Jordan, which is in the center of the country, and the lowlands of Lod, which is the low-lying region of the west side of the Jordan, has the same status as the lowlands of the south, which is the low-lying region of Judea. As long as the type of produce can still be found in the lowlands of the south, in Judea, that type of produce may be eaten at home in the lowlands of Lod, in the central province. And the mountains of Lod, which is the mountainous region of west side of the Jordan, has the same status as the mountains of the king, which is the mountainous region of Judea. As long as the type of produce can still be found in the mountains of the king in Judea, it may be eaten at home in the mountains of Lod, the mountainous area of the west side of the Jordan. Thus far, the Mishnah has named 2 of the 3 regions of the west side of the Jordan, the lowlands of Lod and the mountain of Lod. It now identifies the 3rd region. The territory that extends from Beis Horon to the Mediterranean Sea is 1 region. This is the valley region of the west side of the Jordan.